This is Blender. I'm going to walk through making a really fun, a little bit whimsical rocket. So this is great if you're a beginner or if you're looking for a new project. So I started off first by hiding our light and the camera just so I can focus on the main thing. We are going to use this cube. Let's change the scale though to 3 for X, 3 for Y, and 5 for Z. Okay. Now the cube is going to be the main body of the rocket, but to do that we need to add a modifier. We want to use a subdivision surface modifier, and we're going to make it look more like an egg to start. The reason I'm using a cube and not a cylinder or a sphere is because of the use of faces with this, and I'll show you. Let's go to edit mode. It's really nice to have these faces instead of the many faces that a sphere has. Alright, so let's start with a loop cut. I'm going to click here, but we do need 2, so I'm going to go here and 2. That's great so far. Let's go back to the selection box and face select. Alright, we need to shrink down the cone, the face, the nose of the rocket. I'm going to click on that and click scale, and we're going to go way down. I'm actually going to go all the way down to 0.05, 0.05, and shockingly 0.05. Okay, and then I'm also, while I'm here, going to go ahead and pull up on it, give it an elongated nose, zoop, and I like to do it right to 1.75, gives it a nice rocket shape. Awesome. So now let's take a look at the bottom where the thruster, where the nozzle of the rocket will be. Let's use select, face select, and we're actually going to scale this down as well. Scale, zoop. And it's going to 0.65. That's a really good place for it to be. Gives it a nice look. Alright. Perfect. And now what I need to do is I'm going to use face, inset faces. So we're going to need to put the thruster, the nozzle of the rocket right here, where all that fire and cool stuff that pushes it into space comes out. And I'm going to set this to 0.3. And perfect. So now that I've inset that, I need to push it up. So I'm going to use face, extrude faces, and push. And I like it right at -2 is perfect. Good. This is looking great already. So I'm going to click off on that. Let's use our select box, our edge tool, and I need this edge right here. So I'm going to click on one part of it, but we need all the way around it. The best way to make that happen is to go up here to select, select loops, edge loops. Click. Okay. And with this selected, we want to use edge, bevel, edges. Let me just zoop or zoop, right? And something like this is fine because we're going to get more specific here. So the width, 0.01, 0.03. I'm liking this, and then maybe 5 segments is great. 0.04 and 5 segments. So now let's click on this, and it's going to be very similar. Select select loop, edge loops, boom, that whole surface. We're going to do edge. Let's do a bevel. And let's do 0.2 for this guy. And something like this is great. So there we are. And 5 looks good to me. I could even increase it 1. And that is looking good. So now what I want to do is click on this on cage, because we're going to go ahead and have a multi-layer thruster. So I'm going to need to go over here and click on face select, and right smack dab in the center is, well, the face we want to select. And next up, we're going to do face, inset face, 0.14 is great. And then I'm going to use face, extrude face. .5 is looking good. Okay. And so now let's go ahead and turn this guy off. And I'm going to want to start to scale out the top of this. I'm going to use scale to start to pull a bit. And once we do a few more things, that will give it a larger appearance. All right. Now on this face, I'm going to once again do face, inset face, and right around 0.16 should be good. Okay. And then I'm going to do face, extrude faces again, and pull down. And -1 is looking great. Okay. And now what we're going to want to do is we do want to bevel our edges again. So let me go into edge mode and select this edge, select looped, edge loops, edge, bevel edges, 0.04 is looking good. So let me click on this line, select, loop, edge loops, edge, bevel edges, looks good to me. Okay, so we have that first stage of the rocket. We're actually going to do another mini one now, and so I'm going to use a loop cut and click right here, and then right away I'm going to click on move because I want to move this up, right about there. So we need it at -0.42 should be good. All right. And with that selected, I'm going to go into show X-ray. I'm going to do face select, select box. And let me take a look. And I should have everything. We're going to push this all a bit down and duplicate it. So first, let me push it down 0.65. Let me take a look. 0.7 is looking good. So now what we need to do then is to mesh and duplicate. I'm just going to pull straight down. Okay. And so this should be 0 and 0 and -1.6 is fine for now. And then without clicking off, we want to use scale. I'm going to scale the whole thing down. Okay, so my X is going to be a 0.5. Nope, 0.6 it is. And then my Y is also going to be a 0.6. Okay. And what we want is to have this be the inner part of the nozzle. That looks good. We might scale it down just a bit more. 0.85. 0.85 I'm going to do, and this is going to remain at 1. And click off. That looks awesome. All right, let's go ahead and click there and zoom out some. We have the start of our rocket. So let's go ahead and make the legs. To do this, we're going to pop out of edit mode and we're going to go to object mode. I'm going to click off our rocket. I'm going to go ahead now and do add mesh cube. Okay. And I can't see it, so let's Set this at 5. Boom. There's our cube. Alrighty. Let's take a look. We need to scale this way down for the leg. At first, though, I'm just going to do like a 0.4 maybe, a 0.4, and a 0.4. Okay? And we are actually going to use the same surface modifier. So modifier, modifier, subdivision surface. And it's a 4 you're looking for. 4 you're looking for. Alright. That's all good. Let me zoom in on this guy. And let's switch into edit mode again. Okay. And now we have these surfaces. So that's what we need. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to pull this out some. Yeah, right around 0.65 is great. And now we are going to do an extrude. So face, extrude faces. Whoop. Right there's good. All right. And I did it 0.9 is awesome. I'm now going to push this down to negative 0.4. Okay. I'm also going to extrude again. So that's looking good. So let's go ahead and go to select box, face select here, and then face, extrude faces, and pull. Boom. I'm going to do a 4.6 for this. Okay. And then I'm going to use scale because I need to shrink down this point. And that's going to be a 0.1, a 0.1, and a 0.1. You know what? Let's go ahead and bigger. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. Great. Oh, we need Z to be 0. And then let's go ahead, and that just flattens it out there. Move us over a bit. Something like that. Let me zoom out and look at the top. So it looks like I want to resize a bit. So I'm going to go ahead, click, and drag. Oop. That's what I need here. So now I'm going to do a scale. And I want this to be a bit thinner. So 0.7 is good. And maybe 0.9. That's looking great. All right. And now let's go ahead and hit Z again. I'm going to go into object mode, move. So I did negative 2.9. Or negative 3.5. Negative 0.25. And I'm liking that. We actually might move it a bit more over, maybe negative 0.4. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And there we are. I'm going to hit X now. And what we're going to be doing is using a mirror. Modifier, add modifier, and we're adding a mirror. Where do we need it? Here. Okay. And let's go ahead and apply. And then we're going to do object, duplicate objects, click right away. 0, 0, 0 is great. What we need though is the rotation on the Z axis to be 90. Boom. And now we have a rocket with legs. Vroom. So cool. All right. Now, let's go ahead and add a few windows. So to do this, in object mode, we are going to do add mesh UV sphere. Okay. And let me click on Z. .5 is great. And for the scale, let me take a look here. Let's do 0.8, 0.8, and 0.8. Okay. And now what we're going to be doing is doing object, duplicate. I'm going to click 0, 0, 0 is what we want, but the scale is going to be for X. It's going to be 0.3, 0.2. And then Y is going to be 0.9. And Z will be 0.9. Take a look. So that's great. 0.6. Let's rotate it a bit. And perfect. Okay. And now we're going to do this. Oops. This and this. Object. Duplicate. Bring it down a bit. So you want this to be 0. This to be 0. And let's do negative 1.95. -2 it is. All right. And what do we need to change? We're going to need to push this in a bit, all of it. Great. And now I'm going to click off, because now what I need to do is push this in a bit. Maybe negative 0.05 and rotate it. Maybe 11. That looks good to me. Great. And one more window. We want our astronauts to be happy. So let's go ahead and select. Let's go ahead and select that and that. Okay. And then we need object and duplicate objects. I'm just going to pull up here. Something like this. And we need this to be 0 and this to be 2. Right? But we are going to move this entire shape. Move. Let's go ahead and push it back. Something like this, yeah. Negative 0.38 is good. Okay. And then we're going to want to turn it. Negative 14.5. And that is looking good. So we are just about ready. No, we are ready to start adding color to our spaceship. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So before we start adding color, let's do select all and select all and then object and shade smooth. Yeah. Perfect. All right, and color. So I'm going to select my man rocket first and go over here to the material section. And I have a material. What I want though is this first color is going to be kind of my steel color. So I want that. I have the exact hex for it though. What I want is 43464B. Of course, you do whatever you want with your rocket, but that is what I was liking. Let's go ahead and make sure I can see it. And then let me shine it up. It's metal. It would be reflective. So let's do 0.05, I was thinking maybe. Ooh, that's very reflective. All right, great. And now for the body of the rocket, I'm going to go ahead and do Object, Edit Mode, and what I need, I'm going to go into Show X-Ray. I want to select, face select, all of it. All of this. Okay? Because this is going to be a different color, and the color that I was really liking, and of course, yours can be different. I add, let's do a new, and I was really liking a purplish color. So my hex for that was 800080. And then metallic, oop, nope, that can stay the same. 0.1 and a sign. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna head back over to object mode, and then for the legs, I'm gonna click on a leg here. We need new. My legs, I have a lime green color that I like, so I'm gonna do that. Go ahead over here, start kind of pushing towards that color. The exact for it was 32, CD 32, I believe. Perfect. Yep. And then the roughness, this can be a bit more rough, 0.2, I thought. And then these legs, and kachuk. All right, let's go ahead and click on Y. And I'm going to zoom in to grab our windows. So first, that. Boom. I'm having it match the legs. I really liked that look. Okay. Now let me click on a window. New. And this is going to be a really dark, kind of a black window. Nice and space safe. Let's do a roughness of 0.05. So it's really reflective. That is perfect. All right. So let's go ahead now and make sure our lighting is good. All right. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to our light and click, because watch. Oh no, it's all dark. Who shut off the lights? Let's turn them on. All right. Here's our light. Let me zoom out some. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Let's drag it over here. Yeah, let's drag it over to 5, actually. All right, and then let's change it up. We're going to have a sun. Woo, that's way too bright, though. So not 1000. Let's try 10. Yeah, and I do not want shadows on. Okay, so that's looking great. And last but not least, let's get a great image of it. So we're going to go ahead and go into camera mode. And whoop, way too close. So let's change that out. View, sidebar, view, lock camera to view, and let's zoom out. Move this over a bit, just to get a nice picture. Perfection. All right, and so I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And let's render. I'm going to save mine. Ta-da! And there's our rocket. If this tutorial was helpful, if you've made a rocket, if you kind of watched it, if you're still watching, make sure to hit subscribe, make sure to hit like. It gives me warm fuzzies, world peace, all the nice, all the good stuff. I super appreciate it. If you make something really cool, you should definitely tell me about it below.